What's up, everyone? Welcome deep as rice is falling out of my mouth. Just got a chance just to eat right before this. And yeah, man, we got a lot going on today. A lot of stuff going on in the world. Sports, we'll talk about that. Do some Eagles later on after the show. But we're going to talk about Thomas the Train is going on strike. Did you know that, Mike?
I did not. Actually, no, I saw that this morning. That's right. I thought that they came to an agreement.
Did they?
I thought they maybe. There's a couple of different strikes I was reading about this morning and saw on the news. I might be wrong. Who knows?
So let's update. Rail workers come to an agreement. You
'Cause I
don't
know it was
think
the
so? I
rail
think
workers, and I think the John Deere workers were talking about a strike. Everybody's looking to strike.
Biden announced a tentative deal, but the labor deal faces tough union votes because here's the deal, and this is why I'm bringing this up. If you think it's okay what's going on with the rail workers, you're a bootlegger, you know. And a lot of people say, "Well, just quit that job if you don't like it."
Hmm.
Really, for a guy like me, it's easy to do. But Mike will probably attest to this being a brand new father. Not so easy when you have a family you have to provide for and you have to take care of. You can't
Yes
just
and
leave.
no. I agree that if you do not like your job, go somewhere else. Here's the problem. There is a smart way to go about it and a lazy way to go about it. The smart way is you start looking for other jobs, get your resume up there, throw it out there, like they say with sometimes with guys with like dating apps. Spread a big net out there to catch as many fish as you can. Fish in this scenario are the jobs, the recruiters. If you've got good skills, if you've got the ability to copy and paste a resume, it's not too difficult. And if you are a skilled professional with good work ethic and everything, you can get it. The biggest problem is starting all over somewhere, especially at a place
Yeah,
that has a
and it's
union, because you have seniority, you have the everything that goes with it.
and there's a tentative deal in place. So
Because
someone
Biden
on
did
the
something,
chat,
right?
there's
Biden
a
like
tentative
pushed
deal in
it
place.
forward or
It
something, I
still
think.
needs union approval, from what I understand.
Ah.
And here's the thing about this. You're right to an extent, Mike, but I've worked at a job, and I don't know if you have in the past, where it takes up so much of your time, you don't have the energy to do that. You have to fight through it. And I went through
Mm.
that before my previous job right now. I had to work 12-hour days sometimes,
Yeah.
and you're beat down and just grind out some energy to get on LinkedIn, write a resume, apply to jobs, and I did it eventually. But I don't have a family. With a family responsibility on your shoulders too, man, that is not an easy feat.
It is
And
not. It
we're
is
talking.
not.
And here's the thing too. When I look at this union situation going on with these railroad strike, I think there's a labor revolution going on in the U.S. and I think it's about damn time. I mean, these railroad companies. One of them is Warren Buffett. Everybody loves to worship the altar like he gives them free money or something. Love how people worship these rich people like they give them free money,
Oh
like
yeah.
they're doing something for them. Okay? Stop licking boots, you fucking brown noser. The- And the reason why that annoys me is because they made I believe his company that he's involved in made $8.8 billion in profit. After cost last year. Now, good for them. Not saying they don't deserve it. However, if they gave their employees $150,000 raise, not saying they should, they still would have made 4.4 billion.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, I mean, it's nothing new that the companies are slimy assholes that all they care about
no, I
is
know, but
money.
I'm
I mean,
just
but
saying
that's the
these
name of the
guys.
game.
What pisses me off is that these corporations then try to go through the press and paint these guys like, oh, well, inflation's going to go up. Oh, like you never raise prices on consumers just out of the goodness of your heart. Well, man, you know what, Sarah? I'm pretending like Warren Buffett's talking to us. I should let's not raise prices on certain things. Not to say he does. It's
Right.
just the American people have been good this year. We won't give them any coal. Go fuck yourself with that kind of attitude. They're going to raise prices on you no matter what. Stop bootlicking. It's annoying. And
Who
they
is
were
bootlicking?
threatening all kinds of people. All these Elon Musk guys and these Warren Buffett
Yeah.
guys and everybody that wants to worship their altar, hoping to catch a gold coin. He's the modern day Scrooge McDuck. And the reason why it annoys me is These guys are just trying to get regular time off, you know, like
Oh yeah.
weekends off, 5 days a week. They wanna be able to see their family. And here's the other thing about it. Forget all this, right? It's a safety issue. Trains are a safety issue. They could be a very big accident, and they have happened before. I've read stories of guys taking 600 milligrams of caffeine, still falling asleep while driving a freight train. Pretty damn dangerous. And you know, no matter who you are, no matter what job you do, if you are sleep deprived, you are going to perform below expectations and below your best level. That's just proven. If you want to debate that, you can just exit from the show because you're a retard. I'm not even doing it. Like,
Bye.
you're being a mongoloid. So, all I'm just telling you is you got to understand that, there's got to be some kind of moral compass for these guys. I feel like it's the early 1900s and they got these people working all week long, like 1919, 12-hour days, 7 days a week. And you know what? It's got to stop. I mean, I've read stories about how these guys have safety concerns for the trains. Like they're cutting down the time in between when these trains leave so they could get onto the next route quicker. And they're cutting corners with safety, right? And these guys pay all these money, they lobby, they get the standards lowered through the government. They do all this stuff because they want to gamify the system. They don't give a shit about the results. They just care about the stock price going up. And the problem is in the US, we need to get off the religion that people live on, which is the stock price. Well, the stock price is good. It's good. 99% of you people that say that, you're not making that fucking money. Like, stop. Oh, well, the market's really good. Your little jerk off 401k isn't what drives the market. Okay. That's like you panhandling for your retirement. That's how I feel about that. I have a 401k. Not saying you're wrong if you have one, but stop with this, like, you know, idolism of all that bullshit. I'm just tired of it, man. And these guys have, they should go on strike. They should leverage it. It's a BNSF is the one that Warren Buffett's involved in. And listen, they're using this system as it is, but everybody wants to say they're innovative and you know these business leaders are thought provoking and they come up with these innovative ideas. No, they don't. They're cornering the market, taking advantage of it. You're not coming up with anything new. You're just trying to maximize your profit, and that's fine, man. But how much money do you fucking need at one point? Like, seriously, like, is it just like you're not financially uncomfortable when you're over a billion, are you, Mike? What about over like half a billion? Like, is it because you need financial security, or is it just an addiction for the power, the game, the close of the sale, whatever it may be? And that's where I think these guys go with this. There's no, you know, they put people through shit they wouldn't put their own family through, and they know it. I've seen that on a small level. I've seen it on a big level, and they know it. They would never do it. And I've been at a job where some of these jobs purposely schedule you for so many hours because they don't want you to have an outside life at all. They do it on purpose. I've seen it. I know what it's like. They want you to fucking live there, you know. And me personally, I refuse to do that. I'm not going to do it. You want me to live there? You better pay me double. That's all
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, or I'm going to walk away. But
Hey,
me being a single guy, no kids, I can give them the middle finger and rebound quickly. It's not as easy for someone with a
well,
family. You got a lot more equations.
there should never be any confusion. You're trading time for money. They're trading money for your time. That's it. Bottom line. Your
The
skill
problem is
level.
is they're trying to get more time for less money, and I think that's wrong,
But
you know?
again, that is the corporate capitalist way. You want to get the most output for the least amount of investment. That's how you make money. And
Well,
as workers
it
are
is
supposed to
capitalist, but
we as
it's a
workers are
different type of
trying to do
capitalism.
the least amount of work to get the most profit. It's a give and take. That's why you got to find a company that, yes, unlike this place, treats their workers correctly and appreciates the contributions they make to the company making profit and soaring upwards and further into
Let me
the goals they got to make.
let me introduce a term to you real quick.
Okay.
It's called crony capitalism. I'm gonna give you a definition.
Okay.
This is via wiki. Uh,
Wiki wiki
I hear
wiki
you.
wiki.
Yeah, it's wiki. It's not true because I don't like it. Shut up. Go get a better one. Sometimes crony capitalism sometimes is called Cronyism is an economic system in which businesses thrive not as a result of free enterprise, but rather as a return on money amassed through collusion between a business class and political class. This was often achieved by the manipulation of relationships with state power by business interests, rather than unfettered competition in obtaining permits, government grants, tax breaks, or other forms of state intervention. Other
Hmm.
over resources where businesses' interests undue influence over the state's deployment of public goods. And there's more that goes into that, but I'm just gonna say it's hilarious that these guys talk about limited government, limited government, limited government, except when it's to help you make profit. You're full of shit. Go fuck yourself. I hope you fall face first on a dildo
But
with your mouth open.
from what I understood, now wait, I don't know much about the railroad. I know the John Deere one that they were discussing how they wanted their benefits to go back to the way it was before they slashed them in the 90s. They wanted more.
Mhm.
They wanted a lot of stuff. Um, my whole thing is, and something that you just spoke to, which was major profits while paying their workers the least amount of wage. If you've got workers that are going to accept that wage for the work that you require, I don't find that wrong. Whether it's horrible pay, horrible benefits,
But
minimum
they
wage.
don't have those workers.
No, 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 no. But what I'm saying is, up until this point, if you've got workers that are willing to do the work for the small amount of money you're giving and expecting this huge output, because that's the only way these companies grow bigger and bigger and bigger, is because you have people that are doing this. Now, obviously, yes, in these two cases and in the railroad case, there was a breaking point where they said, okay, no more, enough's enough. And that's good. That's what they should do. That's what any company should do if they're treating their workers poorly. But the way that they got to be the conglomerate, the corporation, the size that they got to was because there were workers that were willing to do that. Just like from Caddyshack, the world needs ditch diggers too. Like the world needs individuals that are going to work these jobs that are killing their backs and killing uh killing their bodies and paying them. Sometimes they do pay really good, but sometimes they pay shitty, and it's like uh, if people didn't want to put up with it, they wouldn't.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a
Well,
weird thing.
I disagree with that. I think people sometimes are sold a bill of goods and you get caught in a situation. Some people don't have the guts to step out, and they might have something
But
going
whose
on at
fault
home.
is that? Is
I
that
don't
the
know, man.
is
What if
that
your
the
wife's got
is
can
that the
what if you got a wife on disability at home and you just gotta eat that fucking
But that's
shitball
one scenario.
because you
By
gotta
the way,
take
I
care of
want to
her?
give a shout out to Sean and say, why is Mike making sense? Thank you for putting that out there that I'm making sense. And yes, because I'm speaking logically.
Well, you guys are both
You've got
bootlickers, that's
you've
why.
got to take some ownership in your own choices in your own life, because if you're the one making this choice to work at this job and accept it, even all the way up to the point that you're going on strike, you have to take some ownership yourself for letting it get to that point and not making the change yourself.
Well, Mike, let me stop you right there. Listen, the government is supposed to enforce capitalism as it was intended,
Right.
right? So when you do not do that and you let there be duopolies and things of that nature, which has happened in the train industry, other industries,
Uh,
what they do is they shrink the job market. So therefore, your skill becomes less marketable because there's less companies. And when you let these big companies merge through government influence, right? And they shouldn't, because now it's not that this has never happened. The DOJ has said no to mergers before for this exact reason. I could give you a recent one. DOJ said no to AT&T when they tried to buy T-Mobile, right? Because they said that there'd be only pretty much two wireless companies down the road, and that wouldn't
right.
really provide any great competition. And being in the wireless industry back then, I could tell you that Verizon and AT&T would give nobody any discounts, and they would have fucking mirrored each other's pricings, no problem at all. There's no reason to do it,
Hmm.
right? So the rail companies, they do those things. Things combine, and the problem is that's one side of the coin. People are going to leave at their own pace and will, but when you've invested a whole, I don't know, lifetime at a job, and they're trying to fuck you over, and they made promises, the only recourse you have is you could leave or you could fight through collective bargaining. And I don't see anything wrong with a union trying to collectively bargain a
Oh,
better contract.
I,
They were
I,
having them work without a contract for 3 years, and 3 years they were saying at the railroad place.
I see
And
no problem with
he
what you just said. The problem comes in where they waited. They had to wait for the union to say, okay, now we're going to do this. Individuals that were there that were dealing with
well, they
this.
got to they got they
I
got
don't
to
wait
vote
for a
on it
union.
as a
If I'm
whole.
dealing with this BS at my job year after year after year, I'm going to be spending the next 2, 3, 5, 8,
Well,
12 months looking for another job while I keep going to this
sure.
one.
But in the meantime, what if the union gets a good deal and you got to vote on it? You're going to take that deal, right?
Oh, absolutely. If before you get to another
Okay.
place, but if I'm going somewhere else, I'm going to make sure that it is a step up from where I'm at. I take.
Yeah, and
I don't
listen,
like.
I think we take that for granted for where we live at, though, Mike. I want you to keep that in mind. Geography matters here, right? Especially with these train jobs and stuff like that. We live in the Northeast, right? And there is a lot. Not that it's like the best, but we have a lot more opportunity in this part of the country than a lot of other countries do. I mean, parts of the
But
country
you know
do.
what we all
Uh,
share? That we're human beings with a brain, with the ability to know when you're being dealt a bad hand. I look, working in the industries that I have worked in manufacturing, I've seen it day in and day out where people go to work, they complain. I mean, we all complain on you're tired, you'd rather be home, like that kind of stuff. But I've seen people that complain day in and day out about their jobs, how they hate it, how it's bullshit. They just complain and complain and complain, and they don't do nothing about it. Like
that's
that,
true. I don't, Mike, but I don't think everybody has that within them,
they don't. But that's what I'm getting at. Those that don't
or they
have
got
it
to get
in
to
them,
that.
those that don't have it, it's the strong survive. All right, you gotta leave the weak behind. Those weak behind that don't have it in them, those are the ones that are going to work in those shitty jobs, getting paid the shitty pay, and that's the bottom line. You got to take control of your own destiny.
Yeah, and listen, you know, someone brought up SEPTA in the Philly school district. Listen, when if they're rebargaining a lot and they're winning, that's because they have a strong union. The Teamsters have a strong union, right? Like UPS is like, and I believe UPS and FedEx, they're like, oh yeah, we can't put air conditioning in your trucks. And then the problem is too, a lot of these big corporations, so to speak. Are you still there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. I'm sorry because I get confused by the other feed sometimes. Um, you know, they'll say to the CEO, "You know what? We need to give you a 50% raise. You made 80 million last year. Damn it. You need another 80 million. You're by God, you're worth it." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to give that to them, great. But don't then say, and I love this because I experienced this in real life. Let me tell you about 2008 when the economy collapsed. I worked for AT&T. We crushed it. We are the only ones with the fucking iPhone. People would have jerked you off for eye contact at a certain point to get the iPhone. I had people crying in line. Yeah, just like that. And yep, not now, right? But when AT&T was the only one that had it, the only
Yeah.
one, they were like, "Guys, you did a great job. Record profits. You killed it. Awesome. Best year ever mobility." About an hour later, that was the CEO of the mobility division. The CEO of the whole company said, "Guys, due to the economic conditions and standards right now with 2008, we're going to have to forego the yearly raises and reviews. I'm not giving myself a raise either." And I was like, "Fuck you with your bullshit email, with your we're not giving you raises, with your stock options out the ass. You can kiss my starfish."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they gaslight all the time due to these economic conditions. Fuck you. That's a lie. Fuck you. I don't want to hear that bullshit. And people are just getting tired of it. And union participation is up above 60% now, and I love it. You know why? It's not that I'm so pro union. It's the only way people can fight back. And they got to join together. Doesn't even have to be a union. They could just all say we're going to walk off the fucking job. And
That's
guess what? It-
that's what
and it happens.
that's the power that people have. What you just said. If you actually, everybody at their job, everybody that does any kind of job thinks that the place can't move forward without them. And 9 times out of 10, that is not true. You are just another wheel in the cog,
Hey,
the
they can move
cog in the
forward
wheel,
without
whatever
you.
it's called. But truthfully, your biggest bargaining chip is I'm going to go somewhere else. So now I worked for a company where I got fed up. I was tired of management. I was tired of not being recognized. I was tired of not having the support that I needed. I was tired of being asked to do so much and never getting the respect I deserved. I was tired of it. So I went and got another company. I went on interviews. Another company was going to hire me. I went back to my company and I said, all right, here's my 2 weeks. They waited up until the last day of my 2 weeks because they thought I was bluffing. You know what happened? They realized they couldn't lose me. So they said, what can we do to keep you? And I put my cards on the table and said, I want this position. I want this amount of money. I want that. Guess what happened? I stayed at that company. And I got the respect I deserved for doing so.
Let me bring this comment up. Sean says, when does the moral obligation and not hurt an already hurting economy supersede one's own personal gain? So I need him to clarify. I don't know if he means the people striking or the owners of the company. I could be wrong there. So
I don't know, but
clarify. But
again,
if he's talking about the workers, the moral obligation shouldn't fall on them. It just should fall on the people that want. You want to be the puppet master. These guys that own the companies, but they don't want to have. Oh no, the economy's not my fault. No, no, no. I don't have anything to do with that. Well, I'm the puppet master. Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly disagree with you if you think it's a union strike. And that is the bootlicking BS that they feed you. Oh, they can't strike because it's going to hurt the economy. These guys weren't getting days off, no vacation days, no fucking sick days. If they wanted to use a vacation day, they got like 20 a year on the job for several years, can't see their family, required to work 90% of the time. They got to call them in on their off day all the time. And you're going to say they're being selfish. Okay. That's bootlick and believe in that. That's all I got to say. That's
but
the
whose fault is it if they're dealing with that stuff? It's their fault.
So they should
don't
just
tell
quit
me.
the job
Don't
right
sit here
then
and
right
go,
there?
you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Then get another job.
So what? Well, Mike, that's so grandiose of you to say. How do you know they're not at home trying to find that job? If they got a mortgage, they got a wife, they got kids, they got to make a certain amount of money. They're applying to these jobs. They're not getting them. They're not. They can't just quit the job. It's. I mean, that's so idealistic for you to say that. Like, how do you know they're not grinding it out in that 12-month period you talked about? And they're in the middle of that right now. Doesn't mean that they should just sit there and just suck a big one and not trying to bargain in the meantime. Like, to me, they should do that. That's how America was built, by bargaining and leveraging. There's nothing wrong with a union leveraging, just like the companies leverage all the time on people. Oh, well, the economy's messed up. You're not getting raises. That was leverage used on me personally. You know what I did? I fucking left eventually. But the point is that, you get time invested in there. They'll say, like, but we're all family though, right? Do you want a pizza party? Fuck your pizza party. I'll pee on the next pizza. I will pee on the pizza that gets brought to the next pizza party. I
Oh,
will
please
stick
don't
it
pee
out
on
and
the
pee on it.
pizza.
Yeah.
Please don't pee on the
You
pizza.
want a pizza party? How about an Amazon gift
Oh,
card?
I should have brought that.
$25.
Now that you talked about food, I've got rabbit jerky upstairs. I should have brought that down here.
Ooh.
And a scorpion. And a scorpion. Yeah.
Speaking of food, we'll change the subject because we can go on this forever.
Because it's always good to eat on air.
It's not.
They teach you that. By the way, they teach you that in broadcasting school. They say when you can eat on air. That's what they say.
Edit it out afterwards, Mike. That way, you only get to see me eat on air if you watch live.
That's what people are tuning in for. That's the hot take.
Yep. Hawaiian pizza is the best. Fight me.
By the way,
fight you right now.
If I were to edit out you eating, people would then tune in right now and be like, well, why has he got food on his lip? We don't know.
I don't know. It's still on my lip. That kind of week, folks. So, apparently Chick-fil-A is coming up with a couple of new items, to two major new items next week. Fall is in the air, and this year Chick-fil-A is going all in on the fall season with 2 new tasty menu additions. Whether you're on the lookout for something sweet or you want to spice things up, I think I know where this is going a bit. The beloved chicken brand has you covered with a milkshake flavor and the return of a popular sandwich. I wonder what that milkshake flavor is going to be.
Pumpkin.
Oh my God, the new autumn spice milkshake and returning grilled spicy deluxe sandwich. Yeah, it's not even fucking October yet, but we got to get ahead of the game. Um, are you a pumpkin spice dude, Mike?
Oh,
I mean, do you
absolutely,
like?
bro.
You're all
Bro.
over that.
I'm all over
Mm.
that. Absolutely. Anything and everything pumpkin spice. I just don't understand if it's so good and so many people enjoy it. Why is it not year round? Do they really get that much of a bump out of
So
the autumn
you want it
time?
year round.
Dude, I get year round K cups pumpkin spice all the time.
Mm.
I want that shit year
I
round.
mean, well, they're gonna have it's called a autumn spice milkshake, so they got to be fancy. I get there's no does autumn really taste like anything? Maybe it tastes like dirty leaves in the yard that got shoved in your mouth as a kid.
What?
What does autumn taste like?
Why would they do that?
What does it taste like? I mean, is
It's
autumn a flavor?
spice. It's the spices, man. It's that cinnamon
Is
spice.
they have all the juices like the corn?
All the juices, not like the corn. A little
You
bit
should
different.
I should send that to you and have you play, give everybody a musical break and I should forward that to you. I'm going through the text message right now. Forget when
Oh
I saw that, but
Jesus!
the corn kid is
But the autumn spice,
he's
you put a little bit of rum in there. Oh man, making my
a
mouth
little bit of
water.
rum.
I'm getting all
Mm,
moist just thinking about it.
Mike's getting wet on air.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grilled spicy deluxe though, man. I wasn't expecting
And
that
there's
one.
Laura. Same reason they don't make gobblers year round, and they should. Why do they not make gobblers year round?
Pull that video up. Let us know. We'll give people a musical break. I don't know, man. I think a gobbler is turkey. Let me tell you something. I like Thanksgiving, but I feel like turkey is the most overrated part of Thanksgiving. Let's do
I
prime
agree.
rib.
I
Let's
agree.
be a man. Let's get a prime rib. Why do I want this dry ass turkey? Like that's why you know, Madden always did the turducken. Let's do something different this year. Chinese food. I did prime rib one year. It's better than turkey. Come on, man. What like that's boring. And that's why
Yeah.
you need to put gravy on
I,
it.
I did a tofurkey one time.
That sounds like ash. That sounds like a ham wrapped in a sock.
I did
Like what?
tofurkey. It was really good.
It was tofu.
Tofu. It was a tofu. It's like a tofu kind of loaf with vegan stuffing in the center with
Mm,
vegan gravy. Yeah.
vegan gravy. So was that because it was no carbs?
No, it was during a time where I was trying. I was seeing what the vegan life was about, just seeing how it was, just trying something different, and it was very good. We did a family vegan dinner at my house. Yeah. Nobody showed up. It was only me and my mother. But it
Wonder why. I wonder why. And Laura, that is amazing. Prime rib or duck is an excellent alternative to turkey. I
All
applaud
right,
your
let's play
creativity
this
there.
clip you wanted to play real fast.
Uh, uh. He's a
Jackass.
drop now in songs. I mean, wow. People are fucking tweaking E to that, man. Molly,
Oh my god.
whatever. I can't even I can't even do it anymore. That the corn thing though is hilarious. I'm sorry. Mm, mm, mm,
Uh, uh, uh.
uh, mm. That kid better go to college for free at least. That's all I gotta say, man. They're
What do
making
you
money off that dude.
What do you mean, Brad? I became a hippie. He says I like Mike before he became a hippie. Screw you, you tree hugger.
He still eats bugs.
I
You
do eat
tree
bugs. I've
hugger.
got bugs upstairs. I've got this giant. I was at the store. I was at the outlets by me, and they had this beef jerky store with hot sauce and all this crazy stuff and a game meat section. And that's where I got the rabbit. And I was like, oh, I've never
We're gonna
had rabbit.
we're gonna
So
we'll have a nuclear holocaust and there'll be a video of Mike surviving. He'll crawl out from a manhole cover and they'll be like, "How did you survive?" He'll be like, "I ate ass."
So they had rabbit, they had alligator, they had a bunch of different stuff. I was like, let me try the rabbit. I never had that in jerky form. And they had a giant scorpion for $1, so I bought the scorpion too.
Actually, since we're talking about exotic meats, I actually at a place called Fat Boy's Deli had a elk cheesesteak and it was delicious.
Elk is very good.
And
Elk is very good. Yeah.
very good. It was I was surprised pleasantly, and I didn't put cheese whiz on it. I did Cooper Sharp
You know what
and
else tastes like licking pennies?
what? Oh god. I think I know where we're going there, but okay, sure. Um so another thing I wanted to bring up since we're all fired up. I just got to say this.
Yes.
In my local municipality,
All that.
wherever I live, if you're not providing me clean water and collecting taxes, I'm gonna be fucking on the steps of the building. There's gonna be someone's resigning, something's happening. I will
Then
be
just
helicopter
move.
pissed.
Just move.
Well, oh, see, there's that privilege again. Just move, yeah, Cardi, move, party, move, yeah, rip your kids out of school, yeah, yeah. What the fuck? I mean, listen, you're in the poorest state. Go to places more expensive. Yeah, yeah, party Mike. Listen, I, I understand what you're
Somebody make a
saying, and
TikTok
I
video out
would,
of that.
yeah, I would totally do that if that was me. And I have more mobility because of my situation, as we pointed out before. And I get what you're saying. And if I had a family, I would try to do that as well. And I'm pretty sure there are people that have done that. But here's the problem I have with it. They've had federal tax dollars. By the way, Brett Favre's a piece of shit.
Oh,
Just putting that
whoa.
out there.
Whoa.
Stole welfare money from people. He's
Whoa.
an overrated quarterback and a piece of shit.
Wow.
That's
Hot
all.
take.
Yeah,
Hot
he
take.
stole welfare money. It's a whole nother question. And the thing about it is it's a very conservative state, and they're like, but they hand out welfare money like it's nothing, but not to the people that need it. And I'm not debating welfare or anything like here. I'm just saying, if
I
I'm
will
paying
debate
taxes,
welfare.
yeah, well, that's not the debate I'm looking to get in. Listen, if I'm paying taxes, there's some certain things that I think I should have access to. And, I don't really drink tap water, as a lot of you know. I like my little fancy water. But if you're telling me that I can no longer go home and take a shower safely in a place that I pay taxes, I'm gonna fucking flip.
Well, what
And
places in America are places that you can't
Jackson,
take a shower?
Jackson, Mississippi. Have you not been watching the news? I mean, listen, there's a lot of bullshit going on in the news, so it's hard to keep up with all the bullshit. I'll give you that. But Jackson, Mississippi, literally, there's kids that are on football teams that can't wash their clothes, uh, can't take a shower. They already know the water's dicey, so they don't drink from the water fountains. So the football coach lives outside of Jackson, so he'll wash their clothes for them. This is just one instance. There's a boil water notice there, and the second time it's happened, they say don't take care of it. The federal government has offered them money for a plan to help fix the problem. The
Ugh.
problem is they're not putting a plan together, and you know what it is, and they don't give a shit. The governor then has a water truck out in front of his house, so he's cool. Like a big fucking, gas truck, but has water in it. That's nice. Good for you, bro. And they're
So
handing out bottled water and all that. But my point is, as a if you're paying taxes, there's certain things in America that should never happen. Because I like what you said there, Mike. You're like, where in America is this happening? Well, this is the second place. They had a lead problem in Flint, Michigan. Now, the problem I have with that is this: part of this thing that we're always told about taxes is that it goes toward infrastructure. Sidewalk, roads, bridges, water, sewage, sanitation, basic stuff, right? You might live in a private community and you pay for your sanitation, like trash pickup differently. But, water in the United States, let me tell you something. Yeah, no more Wranglers for me. Fuck that. I stopped wearing Wranglers in 1992, though. No, no, no lie. But Brett Favre's a piece of shit. Just bring that back there. Brett Favre, you're a piece of shit. And he sends dick pics that are not wanted. Anyway, that being said, I just feel like it just blows my mind. If you're not going to take the tax money, and you're like, you know what, we're not going to provide you any services. Every man for themselves. A libertarian's wet dream, which will never happen. But let's just pretend that does happen. Okay, no problem. You're not charging me anything. You don't owe me anything, right? but property tax, sales tax, estate tax, whatever tax you want to say, it's different from state to state. And they don't want to take it because they basically don't give a shit about their citizens, and that's the leadership in that country. So is this where we're going to get in the states where we can't have, not even clean drinking water you can take a shower with because it's possibly contaminated because it has pathogens in it? Because that's the problem. Like, it could have pathogens in it and make you sick. So uh, we're not supposed to be a third world country, and they would have you believe that we don't have this level of poverty in the United States. But that is not fucking true. There is. People just don't talk about it. White, black, it doesn't matter. It exists. It's not a race thing. And in Mississippi, you know, they're known for that. I could think of a state that probably at least top 3 state that I could give 3 fucks about going to is Mississippi. What is there when am I gonna visit in Mississippi? Jackson? Jackson's the state fucking capital, I believe, right? Is it the state capital of Mississippi? Someone correct me if
I,
I'm wrong, but I believe.
I'm reading about why the water has gone bad, though. Do you know?
Well, yeah, but yeah, go ahead, chime in.
So apparently, what I'm reading, again, just Googling this and seeing what's coming up from articles. This is jacksonmississippi.gov, August 29th, 2022. The flooding of the Pearl River has created problems with treating water at the O.B. Curtis water plant. Adjustments to the water treatment process are being made and has led to temporary decrease in the production of water for some areas. This will remain an issue for the next couple days as we work to refill the tanks. The city will continue to update residents. Then I read another article where it said a boil water advisory has been lifted for Jackson, Mississippi. This was September 5th. After water crisis that lasted nearly 7 weeks, Governor Tate Reeves announced Thursday. We can now announce that we have restored clean water to the city of Jackson as of today. We can state that the boil water advisory can be lifted for those that rely on Jackson's water system. The system is still imperfect, and we are going to address issues throughout the duration of the state's response. It is possible, although I pray not inevitable, that there will be further interruptions. We cannot perfectly predict.
I'm so glad he's praying about it.
We cannot perfectly predict that what will go wrong with such a broken system. In late August, Reeves declared a state of emergency, saving blah, blah, blah. President Joe Biden approved the emergency declaration. Jackson residents have faced water crisis since then that included no running water because of the problems at the city's main facility, the O.B. Curtis water plant, following flooding of the Pearl River. Water pressure increased in Jackson last week after a system-wide failure the week prior. So it is improving. They are working to fix it. It was due to flooding.
You hear that?
I mean, how can you hate on the officials in this one?
You know what that is? That's your balloon popping. So listen, of course that guy's going to write it that way. You hear that? That's the balloon popping.
That's not just
of
one
course he's
guy.
going to write it down.
There's many other articles that are saying that the flooding caused it, and they're working to fix it.
You're reciting one chapter out of it. This is a long, ongoing thing. I'll just pull you an excerpt from what's been going on before that. So they talk about the Pearl thing. Say Jackson's issues with water goes back years, with boil water advisories becoming almost a fact of life in Mississippi's capital. In early 2020, the system failed an EPA inspection. So that wasn't had anything to do with a flood. This is 2 years ago, which found that the drinking water had the potential to be the host of harmful bacteria or parasites. The city's water problems are largely systematic and have included old and leaky pipes, malfunctions at treatment plants, and insufficient money to fix the problems. According to a report by the Mississippi Center for Investigative Reporting, the Clarion Ledger newspaper published in January. Staffing at the plant has also been a problem. EPA staff found during a March visit that the city did not have adequate staffing for the system, leading to routine and preventative maintenance not being carried out. So, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is not something. Listen, other places have floods, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Mississippi River is a big river. It goes all the way up and down the country. So these guys do not invest in the infrastructure in that city. I saw an interview with one of the city council members, and he basically said, well, could we have spent or allocated different amounts of money, in other places? For sure, we could have. I'm like, okay, it's very good that you admitted that. I don't know if it's that guy's singular fault, but I'll just put it this way. In the interview, he said, He said, "Yeah, I give my dog bottled water. I don't trust the water in Mississippi." This is a long-standing issue well before this flood with the Pearl River. Um, my point is mistakes will happen. Natural disasters will happen. Not everything can be prevented. However, when it's a systemic and a systematic problem, that means it's been a problem for years on end. And when it gets to that point where you have to clean up so much, that's because it's been ignored for far too long. These guys have been offered federal money and they refuse it. Like they have to pay it back. I don't know what it's about, but we can give Brett Favre welfare money though. That's what I do know. So I guess his Wrangler jeans. I'll leave this thought. So one thing that Brett Favre was involved in, his name was involved in, is they took welfare money in that state to build a volleyball court for one of the colleges that his daughter went to. Coincidental, right? So I don't know, man. Y- you know, I just never really railed on Brett Favre, but that kind of shit, man. I can't excuse that, man. Like you're a multimillionaire. Come on, man. Like I don't know. There's an immediate boil water measure in place in most places immediately following a major flood. Yeah, so but they are fixed in a timely manner because of tax dollars. Where is the federal money at that they have been given? Very good question, Sean. So, I just wanted to talk about that. Usually we try to keep it a little bit more lighthearted on the show, right? Um, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to bring that up because it's just kind of like, come on, man, like you guys got to really, really, really change it up. So, hey, but I want to talk about last thing before we, get on to the next show. Have you heard? Yeah, you remember Movie Pass, Mike?
I don't think I ever used it, but I know it was around.
Coming back, and I think I might try it out.
I know that it went
Um,
away and a lot of people were not happy about it.
well, that's because the guy who started it out, it got sold or they removed him, and they kind of like didn't really do it in a way where it was profitable for them in a movie theater. So they're bringing it back. So it was the summer of 2017. Used to sneak off at my old job and watch a movie during the day just to get away. 12-hour day. I'm like, oh, I'll give you 12 hours and then just disappear for 2.5 hours. I wasn't paid hourly, by the way, for the record. So commission only. As it turns out, unfettered access isn't a totally viable business model. So it was unlimited. So they're going to give you amount of credits for it, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. So they started it in I believe Chicago and a couple other Midwestern cities. So, if it's like 15 bucks a month and you can see 2 or 3 movies, I mean, that's totally worth it. The question is, do you go to that many
Absolutely.
movies? Or, you know, um, and I signed up because I was an OG that had one. So when they launch it in Philly, I'll be trying it out. I think it's a good idea. I think to get people in theaters, the subscription model is something that's viable. They just have to figure it out where it's going to be profitable for the movie theater and profitable for, um, the moviegoers. I mean, listen, if a gym could have memberships and make money off of it monthly, where most people don't go, it's safe to. I wonder what the percentage is of people that have gym memberships that don't go. What do you think it's at, Mike?
Oh, it's got to be up there. I believe it's up there, especially with gym memberships
Look,
being at only $10 a month, yeah, $10 a month. Yeah, it's up there.
yeah, you know, he said, "Oh, here we go. Up to 67% of gym memberships go completely unused." That's from exercise.com.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I've been one of
Wow.
those
So
people where I've been hardcore at the gym and then
I am
you
right
kind of
now.
fall off and then I don't go for a whole year.
Remember when they used to make it like they wanted to shame you or make it like you were trying to quit school when you wanted to cancel it? Oh, you
Mhm.
have to write a letter. Fuck you. Class action lawsuit got that to go away. You know what I used to do? Oh, you want me to write a letter? No problem. I would close my checking account that they had attached to and open a brand new one. Try drawing it off a checking account that doesn't exist, asshole.
My favorite was
Got you.
at Planet Fitness. If you were on the $10 a month plan, you could quit anytime. If you were on the $20 a month plan, if you quit, you had to pay $60. And I looked at the person,
Mm.
was like, I'm paying double what everybody else is paying. You've gotten more money out of me for the same exact stuff that they're getting. Yet you want me to pay $60 just to quit? And I made a whole scene and got out of it.
Then the guy was like, I don't give a shit. I make $10 an hour. If you want to leave, quit, bitch.
Bitch.
Why are
End
you
it with
here
a
if you don't
bitch.
like it? Why are you here if you don't like it?
That's right. You don't like something,
But
stop doing
so
it.
if they can make that money from gym memberships, they got to be able to make that money on a movie subscription
Hmm.
where I think more people would use it than not,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
absolutely.
Um, gives you a reason to get out the house. If they're smart about it,
Smart.
they make it where they can have a family plan. You maybe could have access to cheaper refreshments. You know what I mean? And you can put some butts in seats. I
Butts and
think
seats.
I think there's potential for it. And I thought it wasn't a great it was a good idea, but I don't think it was executed properly. So, a lot of the other movie theaters have plans like this. Alex must be working 'cause he would definitely be chiming on this.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about the struggling with the Detroit. That would be the Birds Deep show. And by the way, if you're gonna talk crap on our quarterback, learn how to spell his name. It's Jalen, right? Jalen. And you barely survived the Bengals. That was for sure. He's the Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Loser. Anyway, so that being said, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to try it out, and I'll let you guys know what it's like. So I wanted to bring up this last thing, which was wild to me, and I'm going to send it to you, Mike, so you can show it to people real quick, and then we'll end on this note.
Wait, what am I showing
So
them?
Yeah, I'm always paranoid about skimmers. You know what a skimmer is?
Yeah, the credit card skimmers that they install sometimes at like gas station or convenience stores. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just sent you an article, and I've been looking at it. I wonder how credible it is. It looks pretty credible, but I gotta do some research. It wouldn't surprise me, being a technology guy, if this was possible, but, crazy thin, deep insert ATM skimmers. A number of financial institutions in and around New York City are dealing with a rash of super thin, deep insert skimming devices designed to fit inside the mouth of the ATM's card acceptance slot. The card skimmers are paired with tiny pinhole cameras that are cleverly disguised as part of the cash machine. And here's a look at some of the more sophisticated deep insert skimmer technology that fraud investigators have recently found in the wild. So I sent you that picture. Dude, one thing I could see with, like, maybe at a gas pump, right? But, like, how do you pull that off at, like, a 7-Eleven, a convenience store, a Wawa? I don't think it happens at Wawa that often, and not see it as someone that works there. It makes me think sometimes it's an inside job, right?
On this one, I'm seeing like they're actually just covering up the side of it. They try to make it look like it's a piece, an actual extension or a
Right.
piece of the machine, and that's what they do with this one in the top bar, this one on the side. And if you're just there getting money real fast, like I totally get why you would not pay no mind to this. It's just a
Yeah,
machine. That it's not like they make
I
it
get it.
where it's really out there, and that is a scary thing because you could use one of these and not even know it.
But my thing is at a store,
Oh,
like,
the store
the
doesn't notice you
picture
doing it.
a 7-Eleven.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, picture a 7-Eleven where you're right there paying for it. Like, did you, like, scratch your ass and look the other way and a guy comes and installs this,
Well,
right?
so this one right here,
Like,
which is the biggest one we see on the side, and what we're looking at is like an ATM where it's like a sunken into the wall ATM. There's the little piece on the side that's kind of like a triangle, and I'd have to say it's probably like a foot or 2 foot, something like that. If you walk up with like a jacket and have that in, and all it has is double sided tape on the side, you could very quickly slide that out, push, smack it in, and if whatever's in there is just going to do its job to scan your card, like an RFID scanner, I don't
slide
fault.
it in.
I
Uh.
would say the one you were right though. The one that you're asking about, like at the actual cash register, I'd imagine they ask for something behind the counter, wait till he turns around and try to slip it in real fast.
Are they
Just like a
fucking
guy on
Nightcrawler
prom
or, like,
night.
are they like who's that guy that moves really quick? That's, Marvel character, I forget his name, but, like, are they a mutant or a superhero where they can install that in point 0.5 seconds? Like,
Oh, trust me, if they've
the
done it enough times and tried enough times, yeah, it's all about that whole thing of just how efficient are you at getting it done.
or it's an inside job.
None of the 100%. I know that some of these guys, it's an inside job, and at the end of the day, they lock the door and just take it out, and absolutely, I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, me either. So listen, guys, on that note, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking in, watching me eating food, spitting in time's face, and partying with us and talking about all the juices on the corn. You know where to find us. All the major platforms. Tell Alexa you want to listen to the latest episode of Taking It Deep. And that's all we got for you this week, folks. This is the Godfrey not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.